Welcome to the seventh part of the Huntress of Fairy Tale by Rico94. So, last time some things happened. RWBY continued to get absolutely destroyed, and we were reminded of the things that happened to Yang, Blake, and Weiss, and I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I mean, Weiss has the powers of an ice god slayer. Blake can, great. Now that I'm, trying to deal with it, whatever. She has the powers of, she has the magic of the Strauss family. Weirdly, but, whatever. Don't think it matters. Yang, I don't exactly know what she has whatsoever. Um, I I guess we'll figure that out. Possibly someone who is smarter than me, or will do more research than I was after this. So, god dang it. There's at least chapters after this, so, you know. Anyways. So this paragraph, so basically it seems what we're doing now is doing sort of like a Pokemon anime thing where it's just like, this is what happened last time, and yeah. So on their way to respond to their first quest outside of the guild, Ruby and her friends were attacked by members of the dark guild known as Nightwing. Team Ruby had their backs against the wall due to the Dark Wizard's magic. As the Huntresses were on the edge of being defeated, they unlocked a unique magic power inside of them. With the use of these new powers, Weiss, Yang, and Blake were victorious. Ruby was locked in a fierce, or is locked in a fierce battle with the Sound Wizard Emmy. As the battle intensified, Emmy revealed that she was from Remnant as well, and that her goal was to get revenge on Beacon Academy for her fallen comrades. Wait a minute, why would you target Bacon? Ruby shouted. They had nothing to do with this. You don't think so, huh? Emmy said with a smirk. They've managed to defeat some of my comrades. However, they seem to be worse for wear. Then a wicked smile appeared on her face. If they were to die, Ruby's eyes widened when Emmy said that. Her shocked expression turned into one of pure rage. No, you can't, Ruby shouted in anger. Emmy appeared in front of Ruby and hit her in the chest with her magic-infused palm, forcing her onto the ground. Like there's anything you can do to stop me, Emmy said. Face it, you lost. Ah! Face it, you lost. Emmy turned around to walk away from the red-hooded girl. I'm not letting you hurt any of my friends, Ruby shouted in anger. A red circle appeared under Ruby's feet, causing her to disappear into a pile of rose petals. Ruby reappeared behind Emmy and headbutted her in the back, causing her to fall to the ground and skid a few feet. Ruby fell to the ground as well, struggling to get up. You're starting to piss me off, you brat, Emmy cursed, glaring at Ruby. Fine then, you'll die first. Siren screech? Emmy fired a blast of sound waves from her mouth, creating a huge explosion and pushing Ruby back. Emmy fired a barrage of sound blasts at Ruby, hitting the hunt. What just happened? Why? Okay then. Emmy fired a barrage of sound blasts at Ruby, hitting the Huntress relentlessly and sending her crashing through a tree behind her. In the skies above, Happy and Natsu looked down at the forest, searching for a certain girl with a red hooded cape. Do you see her yet, Happy? Natsu asked. No, I haven't found her. Happy said. Damn! How could she be? What? Damn! Where could she be? You were asking the wrong question. Then an explosion erupted, catching Natsu and Happy's attention. Happy flew Natsu to the site of the explosion, and the two widened their eyes when they saw Emmy slowly moving towards RWBY, who was on the ground and badly beaten up. Well, what do you know? Be you won't be able to experience the pain that I've experienced, Emmy said, raising her hand as she prepares to finish RWBY off. Don't worry. Dragon Slayer. Yang slowly opened her eyes, and the first thing she saw was the ceiling of a room. Where am I? Oh my god. Where am I? She asked groggy. So you finally woke up, a familiar voice said. Yang looked to her left and saw Weiss lying in the bed next to her. She had bandages wrapped around her head, arms, and stomach. Yang had bandages wrapped around her head, neck, and stomach. Weiss, where are we? We're back in the guild hall. At least that's what I was told. I don't remember how I got here. All I remember was that I suddenly gained a new power. Weiss looked at her hand, thinking back to her battle against Katori. Flashback. Then black snow started to surround itself around Weiss. Oh my god, again? Started to surround Weiss as the heiress looked at Katori with a fierce glare on her face. Katori's shocked expression turns to one of anger as she prepares to attack again. Ice dragons roar! Katori fired another powerful stream of snow and ice at Weiss. This time, Weiss didn't dodge the attack, but Katori widened her eyes as her ice was being devoured by her opponent. Weiss opened her mouth again and fired a blast of black ice and snow at Katori. Katori cried in pain as she was hit by Weiss' attack. End of flashback. Yeah, the same thing happened to me too, Yang said, thinking back to her battle against Suzuki. Flashback. Then a golden circle opened up underneath Yang and engulfed her in golden flames. Suzuki widened her eyes as Yang slowly got back to her feet. She couldn't move and fear filled her body. What? What the hell is this? She slowly started to back away from Yang. Ember Celica Burning Fang, Yang shouted. That was terrible, punching Suzuki in the gut with a flaming fist. Suzuki yelled in pain as the golden flames engulfed his body, and she used... What? Engulfed, maybe... is it a girl or a guy? I don't remember. Whatever, Let's just say it's a girl. Engulfed her body as she was sent crashing through a wall. The flame died down and revealed Suzuki lying on the ground unconscious. End of flashback. Or end of flashback. Whatever this new power is, it's definitely not our semblance. It's definitely, Weiss said, it's definitely magic. What about Blake and Ruby? Yang asked. I don't know, but I'm sure they'll be okay. Let's hope that they'll be it back safely. What? How about get back safely? Natsu, Ruby said weakly, looking at her friend. As he flew down towards Ruby. Happy, what are you guys doing here? I heard that you and your team were in trouble, so I got here as fast as I could, Natsu said. Don't worry, I'll deal with her, Natsu said, looking at Emmy, who had a smirk on her face. So you're the famous salamander I've heard so much about, Emmy said. From Fairy Tale to be here, but I hope that you'll be much more of a challenge than that brat behind you. Happy, Natsu said, looking at the Exceed. Take Ruby to the guild. Then he looked back at Emmy with a fierce glare on his face. I'll deal with her. No one messes with one of my friends and thinks they'll get away with it. He said, getting Natsu's attention. Natsu looked behind his shoulder and saw Ruby slowly getting back to her feet, using crescent rows to balance herself. I'm not done yet. I can still fight. I told her till one of us is down for good. showing, slowly walking in front of Natsu. If she beats me to a bloody pulp, if she rips my arms and legs off, I won't stop until I beat her. So you still want to fight in the condition you're in, Emmy said. I don't know if I should laugh or be impressed, but since you're in a hurry to meet Oblivion, I'll be more than happy to accommodate you. Siren screech. Emmy fired a blast of sound waves from her mouth at Ruby and Natsu. A red magic circle opened up from underneath Ruby's feet as an explosion erupted. Emmy's smirk grew wider. What are you looking at? A voice asked from behind Emmy. Emmy turned around only to feel a fist hitting her in the face. Emmy fell to the ground and skidded back a few feet. What? She looked at Ruby and Natsu with widened eyes, What? They avoided her attack and escaped without her noticing. Emmy gritted her teeth in anger as she used her speed magic to charge toward Silver Scythe. How is she faster than me? No one could catch with my speed. Emmy looked at Ruby's feet and saw a magic circle underneath them as she slowly got to her feet with blood flow from her head. I see. She turned her semblance into magic. Emmy looked at Ruby's eyes and widened. What? That look in your eyes. What's with that look? It's not the look of someone who has a grudge against me. It's the look of someone who is trying to understand me. It's the look of someone something, who's trying to see things through my eyes and put herself in my shoes. Someone like you can never understand my pain. Emmy let out a loud cry as she used her speed to create doppelgangers of herself and charged towards Ruby. A red magic circle appeared under Ruby's feet as she charged towards Emmy, avoiding the doppelgangers. Emmy narrowed her eyes as Ruby got closer to her. But Ruby was too fast for her to use her magic. Emmy crashing through a tree. Send the sound wizard crashing through a tree. Emmy fell to the ground, lying unconscious. Ruby was breathing heavily as she fell to her knees from exhaustion. I did it, she shouted happily. Then her vision started to blur as she slowly fell to the ground. I gotcha, Natsu said, catching Ruby before she fell and picking her up. That was awesome, Ruby. Ruby looked at Natsu with a shocked expression on her face. Really? Yeah, you were amazing, Happy agreed. Guys, Ruby said as a small smile appeared on her face and she closed her eyes. Thanks. Come on. Don't want to hear a stupid ad. It's gonna make everything slow. Oh my god. Chapter 13, Ito. Come on. It was a woman with long blonde hair, dark brown dress. So, this is where the little huntresses are located, the woman said with a smirk on her face. Pretty soon, they will be reduced into a pile of ash, and then Beacon Academy will suffer the same fate. I thought that we would find you here, a new voice said as multiple figures appeared and pointed their weapon at the woman. The Shadow Woman Ito. The woman known as Ito looked behind her shoulder and saw Lahar standing behind her. So it's you, Lahar, Ito said to the Rune Knight. How long has it been? 5 years? Yes, 5 years since you betrayed the Magic Council and disappeared without a trace.